Hello, my name is Jay, and this will be a video showcasing the Yi 4K Plus. Now, this is a camera that is around $300, I actually got mine on sale, that runs 4K 60 FPS at above quality than the GoPro 6. Now, I want to say something real quick though, that this is more, the quality is more sacrificing the fact that it's not as much of an action camera, doesn't have the same stabilization features, it's not as much of an action camera, but the image quality, the just still like right now recording quality is much above what you would get in the GoPro, noticeably different. The other thing is it does put out raw image quality, like I don't know how to say this, raw quality. You have to color grade it and everything to make it look and pop. The GoPro does this automatically, but I want to make a point in saying that this is a really good value, especially for half the price of the GoPro 6, that you get pretty much the same features, and the only difference is you just get a nicer image quality. And that's why I chose this one over the GoPro, because I feel like if you're going to get something, you want something that's still image quality that looks really good, and I feel like that's something important. So a couple of small things to point out while we're in it. First off, the microphone in this camera, I'm just kind of going to do this as a review and kind of talk about it a little bit, is the microphone in this camera is not the best. Obviously, any microphone that's built into something that small is obviously not going to be too good. So I was thinking, what would change the difference? And so I actually have a crap, I forgot what it is, lavalier, and that's what I'm using now, as you can see right here. But the biggest thing about it is I like that it gives a lot more mobility. Of course, the default mic, it has good recording for the sound. It's just the default mic doesn't work too well. The other thing is I did test with the image stabilization. It does work pretty well. And if you're just recording 1080p, this is absolutely insane. You can bump that all the way up to 120 FPS, which is also, of course, completely almost useless at that point. I personally like the 4K 60 FPS feature. The two things to point out though, that when you're recording in 4K, you need a massive hard drive. I'm not going to tell you how I jerry-rigged mine, and you're going to need a lot of ability, a big SD card, which does not come with the camera. It does come with a battery, an adapter to go to microphone. It comes with a lot of stuff. The GoPro doesn't come with that, and to be honest with you, I feel like this has a higher, I guess, image quality, and it has a different flavor, I guess, if I could put it as the GoPro. And I mean, I'll be using it over a GoPro because I just feel like the quality is what I need rather than already pre-color graded, because you can't undo color grading, but you can always add some with the raw image quality. I mean, I feel like that's a good thing if you're wanting to get out there in the 4K field, which obviously I personally, the reason why I'm doing 4K is simply because of the the tag that you get. It just adds more credibility to your channel. When someone's scrolling through and they see a 4K tag, yes, they may not be watching it in 4K, but they think, oh, someone put the extra time and effort to make sure it was 4K, and they probably know what they're doing if they've the mentality behind it is pretty much that you've got someone that knows what they're doing and that has spent a little bit more time and invested a little bit more in their channel, which compared to, it's also just a special tag that kind of points you out rather from the crowds, I guess, and the masses. And I mean, the image quality, when you upload it to YouTube, it actually downscales the quality a little bit. So basically, the 1080p clips look a lot better. The other thing I will add though is when the default settings actually have a lot of the quality at medium. You have to actually go through and set it to high so you actually get the full image picture. Because looking at it, you can actually, it doesn't look that noticeably different from an iPhone. But when you start bumping up the quality, and especially since I have the iPhone 7 Plus, you really start noticing the difference in recording, the difference when you have the extra 30 FPS in your frames for a total of 60 FPS. And that also is good when you downscale, because if you're just uploading 4K, but the FPS is not, you only have 30 FPS, no one really wants to watch a 720p clip at 30 FPS. They want that high quality, and that just basically goes for downscaling in general. So it offers a lot of ability if you're out there looking for a camera. Yes, you may not be wanting to record in 4K, that's great, but it does have a lot of those good features that actually end up working a lot better than before. So I feel like at least going from recording off my iPhone to a designated camera is really nice, and especially I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to get the footage off my iPhone, because as we all know, Windows and Mac completely love to work together. That was a joke in case you couldn't know. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and it's on Amazon for $300. It's on sale right now for like $230, I think, So I mean, it's a good deal compared to the GoPro. You can look online for the image quality comparisons. Just keep in mind, when you get it, you got to set the image quality to high, even if you're recording in 1080p. But it is a good mid-range camera, especially for something that's dedicated for image quality. I mean, yes, there's always something higher you can get, and of course, there's always better cameras. But when you're looking for a certain number and a certain quality level, this was perfect for 4K 60. The only slight downside I would say is there is a slight bit of a fisheye, and I'm sure you could probably tell that. But I think that it does have fisheye compensation, and I'm sure you can also counteract that in software. I'm still looking into doing that. And it has this compensation already in the camera, so when you're recording at 1080p, it doesn't do it for 4K. That's the only downside as well. But at 1080p, it's unnoticeable. It looks perfectly normal, and it kind of feels like, yeah, it feels really nice. The quality at the lower frame rates, and even at the 4K, it feels like the image quality. Each pixel is captured pretty well, especially for that price. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you didn't, I'm sorry. And check out my channel for other cool tech-related stuff, and I hope to see you around. Goodbye.